Are you ready to be free?
Yes.
Take a deep breath. We'll repeat our treatment for freedom together aloud. I speak my word for myself, my center, and all its members and friends. I know love as the only reality. I am created out of love. Love is what I am. I know this love as absolute freedom in every area of my life, the life of my center, and all who call it home. I know our center's mortgages are paid in full, and I claim for all of us financial freedom with all debts paid and cleared. I release any sense of struggle or wrongdoing. I live in an abundant universe where there is more than enough for all. We experience freedom in every moment by always having more than enough money, vibrant health, and loving relationships. We are who we have come here to be. With hearts open wide, we see the world through the eyes of love. We are blessed, we are rich, and we are free. And so it is. And we practice our points of power. I always pay attention. I always tell the truth and tell it quickly. I always ask for what I want when I want it. I always take total responsibility for my experience. I always keep my agreements. And so it is. Breathe. I've had a couple of people this week tell me, you know that thing that you have us say every week? Yes. Well, I'm getting out of debt. I'm almost completely debt-free. I'm almost to where every last thing that has been hanging over me for years is gone. So I encourage you to keep programming your subconscious mind by claiming and saying the things that you want to experience in your life, and watch how it shows up. It shows up in all kinds of ways. You don't even need to know how it's going to happen. Don't worry about it. If you're ready to know, you'll know. If you don't know, you don't need to know. Just know what is going to happen, not how. I wanted to talk today about cause and effect, one of the very principles of our teaching. The cool thing that I like about this teaching, which is very attractive to people who are highly intuitive. How many people feel like you're intuitive? Everybody in the room is highly intuitive. You're in a teaching that says, don't believe any of this. You're in a teaching that says, this isn't real. People think we're nuts. Do you have people in your life that think you're nuts? I do. Because people say, well, of course it's real. It's on television. It must be real. It's on the internet. It must be real. I've seen it in my life. It must be real. They told me, they put a label on it, that it was real. It must be real. But the truth is that none of this is real. This teaching appeals to people who are intuitive, who are able to make the jump between what we see and what we know. And when we can make the jump between what we see and what we know, we are no longer bound by the conditions of our lives. And I remember when I was bound by conditions in my life, boy, if the money wasn't in the checkbook, forget it, it would never happen. If I hadn't already done it, it was never going to happen. If someone told me it was never going to happen, it was never going to happen. I was ruled by conditions in my life, and I think maybe you were there too, that there is a whole different reality going on that has nothing to do with the physical form experiences and past experiences of our lives. There is a whole different level of consciousness and creation that actually brings those conditions into our lives. I remember when we were studying Charles Haanel, And he talked about there's a world within and there's a world without. What? There's a world within and there's a world without, and the world without is simply a reflection of the world within. So if you want to change the outer conditions of our lives, which are the effects of causes, then we have to go to the world within, which is the cause to our effects. And it's really important that we know the difference, because sometimes we can look at the world and go, oh, the world is going to hell in a handbasket, all is lost, all these awful, terrible things, and if I'm going to be a good person, I have to feel bad about that. No, none of that is real. Ernest Holmes said, nothing is real unless you make it real. Nothing can touch you unless you allow it to touch you. Refuse to have the feelings hurt. Refuse to receive anyone's criticism or condemnation in the independence of your own mentality. Know that you are wonderful. Nothing is real unless you make it real. So as we look onto these outer experiences in our lives, it is so important to get that that is an effect. And if we want to change the effect of our lives, if it's a global effect, it doesn't matter. We still get to change that effect. We are so powerful as spiritual beings that changing the world inside of us not only changes our world, but it changes the whole world. So if we see something on the outside and we want to have it shift, whether it's to have it be more peaceful, to have it be more loving, to have it be healthier, to have it be more prosperous, the thing to do is to change the cause. And to know the difference gives you all the freedom that is there. To go in and shift the cause shifts the effect. And it's interesting because every effect has a cause. And the cause is always us. It's not egomania here. It's that we are creating our experience. You can't create my experience, and I can't create your experience. Although if you come to Center for Spiritual Living, you're going to be able to create your experience with all of us together. But there are actually people who come to this center and go, I didn't like it. I call people. If people are here for the first time, I'll call them and say, what'd you think? And gosh, some of them tell me. I just didn't like it. I didn't like this, I didn't like that, I didn't like how you did that, I didn't like what you said. And okay, I had a great time. I had a great time, and I know of a lot of other people who had a great time. If you don't want to have a great time, that's fine. I encourage you to go somewhere else where you will have a great time. I encourage you to do that because everybody's in their perfect and right place. I can't make you have a great time, although we work all week to be able to have this experience together on Sundays, but I can't make you heal. I can't make you prosper. I can't make you be happy, although I would really love to do that. You have to do it. You are in charge of your world. You are the cause, and your world is the effect. If you want to shift your world, the world of effects at any level, you must go to cause, and you are cause. Conversely, you can't make me happy. You can't make me heal. You can't make me prosper. You can't make me happy. I am the only one who can do that. And if I'm experiencing something in my life, I did that. Now, sometimes that's great. Isn't it great? I did that. And sometimes it's, oh, I did that. I'm not sure how I did that, but I know if it's in my experience, I did that. So I'm going to take complete 100% responsibility for my experience and look within me and see what I need to let go of, what I need to embrace, what I need to open up to, so that I can have my life be the way that I want it. And people go, oh, Barbara, that was an air conditioner. You don't have control over it. Yes, I do. I have control over everything in my life. I have control over the outer circumstances and my experience of them. I am cause to my effects. My life is the effect of my cause. I love this teaching because it doesn't have us bound to anything. Doesn't have us bound to how much money we have, how much education we have, what the society around us is saying is or is not possible. It doesn't have us bound to any of that. We are the cause. Our life is the effect. And if we look into the effects of our lives, sometimes we can see what cause we put in there. It's like the person who wrote on their cast, all I said was, give me a break. And so life said yes. It's like when I look into my heart of hearts and say, how much judgment am I putting out there? I think it's righteous judgment. My gosh, they're politicians. Anybody could see that. A higher question is, what is in me that that person is reflecting? And if you want to stretch it out really wide, what is in us that that person is expressing? And what do we get to heal so that our effect is better? Because the only way the outer will change, whether it's our individual life or our collective life, is if we heal it at cause. If we put a new cause out. And so I say, oh, well, I'm this very evolved spiritual being. Don't you know me? I'm Barbara Waterhouse. I've been in this teaching pushing 40 years, and I've really worked a lot on myself. I've really grown a lot, which I have. I don't have any of that stuff in me. And then I look in the mirror and go, if you have an effect, you have a cause. And the only way to clean up the effect is to clean up the cause. So what is inside of me that is still holding on to those old limiting ideas that it's time to let go of? What can I do to change the cause so that I can change the effect? Because when I change the cause, they call it a miracle. Oh my gosh, that was a miracle. That was an instantaneous healing. That was an instantaneous demonstration. Everything in our life is instantaneous. We are creating by the nanosecond, and that is way faster than every second. We are creating our experience just like that, because we are cause and our world is effect, and it doesn't matter whether it looks impossible. We do the impossible here. That's what we do. We do the impossible. What was it that Mae McCarthy said? We make miracles typicals. That's what we do, because we have learned to disengage from the effect. It's just an effect. It's just a little struggle, a little suffering, a little lack, a little limitation. That's all that it is. It's not me. I am cause to my experience. I can set something new in motion, and I can change the circumstances in my life just like that, because they're just effects. They have no life of their own. They have no substance of their own. They are simply a mirrored reflection of what's going on inside of me. So if someone says, well, you've never done that before, great, what a wonderful opportunity. You know, if we never did things that never had been done before, as a species, we would have no evolution. What is evolution? The species develops something that never was there before. So whether it's a tail, whether it's a lack of tail, whether it's lungs, whether it's gills, whatever it is, we're developing something brand new. So it's time to develop something brand new. What do you want? I want to see a little more love out in the world, which means I've got to look at myself and say, Barbara, you are cause to your experience. If you are not experiencing the level of love that you want to experience in your life, you're the one who has to put it out there. It's like someone says, well, I came there and there was no love there. Well, that's because you didn't bring any. You sit in your own love pot. That's all that there is, really. So if you want more love in your life, you've got to bring more. You've got to let it go. You've got to love people and love people and love people. And before you know it, you go, wow, I live in a loving universe. Yes, because you did that, because you're cause to your experience, which is effect. Effect has no life of its own. You put it there. If you want to experience more happiness in your life, you've got to bring it. You also sit in your own happiness bucket. How much did you bring is what you get. It never comes from your experience. Haven't you noticed that? Boy, if I just get that new car, I'll be happy. 2 weeks later, oh, can you believe the car payments on this? Do you know how much my insurance went up? Somebody scratched it. You bring your own happiness, and then that's what you get back. You bring your own prosperity, and that's what you get back. You bring your own health, and that's what you get back. Never fall under the hypnotism that the outer owns you or rules you in any way, shape, or form. It doesn't. It is simply an old show. Maybe a nanosecond ago, but an old show. You are the one who is creating your experience. That's what I love about this teaching, is that it gives me power in my life. It gives me authority in my life. When I was a child and grew up in a different kind of a spiritual tradition, I was told I had no authority. That I was marked from the get-go. There was nothing I could do but somehow pass some kind of a test, and eternity was the grade. So I didn't have that sense that I can choose my experience. I was bouncing around, reacting on everything in the world. And when you react, something interesting happens. When you allow yourself to be at the level of effect of your effects, do you ever have that? The electricity went off. Please don't call it power. Your power is inside of yourself. It is just electricity. The electricity went off. Oh, all is lost. My TV doesn't work. My iPhone was dead. I can't do anything. Oh, it's awful. No, it isn't. You don't want to be an effect of an effect. Electricity is an effect. You go, I am creating my experience. We could light up the whole world without any electricity if we were clear. We could do whatever we want to do because to your life. When you react like that, you trigger off a whole different you. There's the conscious aware you, and then there's the instinctual you. It's a limbic, animalistic kind of you, and it takes over just so fast. You go into a reaction, you go into an emotional reaction to something, and before you know it, a whole biochemical process has happened, and you are totally sucked in. Your adrenals are pumping, your brain has gone from your head to your limbs so that you are in fight or flight, you can run or fight. That means you have no blood left in your brain to think. All your blood's gone to your extremities. A different part of your brain is triggered off, and there are surges of chemicals being put through your bloodstream. You're stupid at that point. It's true. And that's when we make dumb decisions. If you can stand in the middle of something happening, something that you didn't really think you were going to pick, and be calm, you have found power. There is power in calmness. When we do a spiritual mind treatment, we may have a lot of energy going, but there is a sense of calm. There is an ability to think. There is a choice going on. Whenever we are in the midst of some kind of a situation that wants us to go primal, instead of rise up in consciousness, to be able to be calm holds the power of choice. And then we can go, wait a minute, what was that the barber said? Wait a minute, none of this is real. It's only real if I make it real. This is only happening as a reflection of me. I'm the one in charge of my life. I'm the one that can decide whether this is a catastrophe or a blessing. So if I choose to have it be a catastrophe, I'm going to have it be a catastrophe, especially with all this going on. Got a lot of energy poured in there, catastrophe. No, because I'm going to choose to have this be a blessing. I'm going to put a blessing in it, and then I'm going to get a blessing out of it. The same way, how much love did you bring? You put the love in, and it comes back. You put the happiness in, and it comes back. You put the blessing in it, and a blessing comes back. But you do that if you're calm. You do that if you're thinking. You do that if you remember that you are cause to your life. Your life is the effect. Everything, every dollar, every moment, every piece of form in your life is an effect of you. It's our choice. It's up to us. Truly, we are the captains of our ship. Truly, we determine our destiny. Truly, we bring to life whatever it is we get back. So my question is, what are you looking to get back? Personally, I want to live in a world with more love, which means, Barbara, you have to stop complaining. You have to stop getting upset with mechanical equipment. You have to not let your affect be determined by the state around you. Stop criticizing, stop complaining, start loving. Look deeply at people that push your button, and I'm talking to me, and see what disowned self is inside of me that I need to release and heal and grow out of. If I think that people out in the world are being petty, what's petty inside of me? Because I kid you not, any one of us can heal this entire planet. Any one of us can heal this entire world, but it requires us to be clear about who we are, why we are here, to set the cause in motion, to experience the effect that we want out of life. It's always about us. The outer is not real. We are it. It's all about the difference between the cause and the effect.
Yeah.